Did you know that some states in the US are known for their less than friendly vibes? Whether it's due to a fast-paced lifestyle, tight-knit communities that aren't so welcoming to newcomers, or just plain old impatience, certain states have earned reputations for being, well, a bit on the unfriendly side. But before you cross these places off your travel list, it's worth digging a little deeper into why they've developed this reputation. Maybe it's the high cost of living, the stress of daily commutes, or simply a cultural difference that makes people seem a little colder than they actually are. In today's video, we'll be exploring the top 10 most unfriendly states in the US for 2024, giving you the inside scoop on what makes these places tick and why they might not be rolling out the welcome mat. And stick around until the end, because we've got a bonus tip just for our loyal viewers. If you're thinking about making a move, this little piece of advice could make all the difference in finding your perfect place to call home. So let's dive in. Kicking off our list is New York, a state that's as famous for its towering skyline as it is for its brisk, no-nonsense demeanor. New York is home to nearly 20 million people, with a significant portion residing in New York City, the city that never sleeps and arguably never stops moving. This fast-paced environment means that locals are often in a hurry, leading to a reputation for being impatient and sometimes downright rude. The high cost of living, particularly in NYC, adds to the stress, making people less likely to engage in small talk or offer a helping hand to a stranger. According to a 2024 survey by Zippia, New York ranked among the top states where residents reported low levels of neighborly trust and community engagement, suggesting that the hustle and bustle leaves little room for friendliness. The constant influx of tourists also means that New Yorkers might be tired of dealing with out-of-towners, adding to the perception that they're not the most welcoming bunch. Next up is New Jersey, another state with a bit of a rough reputation. Often overshadowed by its neighbor, New York, New Jersey is known for its blunt, straightforward attitude. This can be perceived as unfriendly, especially to those not used to such directness. The state's high population density, New Jersey is the most densely populated in the US, means that people are often vying for space, whether on the roads and schools or at the grocery store. This crowdedness can lead to stress and impatience, making locals appear standoffish. Traffic congestion, especially around the New York metropolitan area, is a notorious source of frustration. Additionally, a 2024 Wallet Hub study found that New Jersey ranked low in terms of community and social environment, with residents reporting lower levels of social interaction and neighborly warmth compared to other states. This can make it harder for newcomers to feel welcome or integrated into their communities. Massachusetts, particularly the Boston area, is known for its rich history, educational institutions, and unfortunately, its somewhat frosty reception to outsiders. The state's reputation for unfriendliness stems from a mix of factors, including its notoriously bad drivers and a general reluctance to engage in small talk. Boston's long-standing nickname, the City of Notions, references the idea that locals can be a bit set in their ways, which might explain why newcomers sometimes find it hard to break into social circles. The state's high levels of education and income can also contribute to a sense of elitism, making it challenging for outsiders to feel at home. According to a 2024 survey by Travel and Leisure, Boston ranked among the top cities where visitors felt the least welcome, citing cold interactions with locals as a key reason. Outside of Boston, rural parts of Massachusetts can also be insular, with tight-knit communities that might not easily embrace newcomers. Connecticut, nestled between New York and Massachusetts, is another state that often gets tagged as unfriendly. While it boasts beautiful landscapes and affluent communities, Connecticut has a reputation for being aloof, particularly in its wealthier enclaves. The state's small-town charm can sometimes come across as insularity, where locals are more interested in maintaining their established social circles than welcoming new faces. A 2024 report by Business Insider highlighted Connecticut's lack of community engagement and lower levels of volunteerism compared to other states, which can be indicative of a more withdrawn or reserved populace. Additionally, the high cost of living and competitive job market in places like Fairfield County can contribute to stress and a focus on individual success over community building. These factors combine to create an environment where friendliness isn't always a top priority. California might surprise some people by making this list, especially given its reputation for sunshine and laid-back living. However, the Golden State's unfriendliness stems from its sheer size, diverse population, and the pressures of living in some of the country's most expensive cities. Places like Los Angeles and San Francisco are often cited for their lack of community spirit, with residents too busy with their hectic schedules to engage with neighbors. The state's infamous traffic, particularly in urban areas, doesn't help either. Sitting in gridlock for hours can test anyone's patience. A 2024 study by the American Community Survey found that Californians were among the least likely to know their neighbors or engage in community activities, reflecting a more individualistic culture. Moreover, the high levels of transience in cities like LA, where many people move in and out frequently for work, can make it harder to establish lasting friendships, adding to the state's reputation for being less welcoming. Florida is known for its beautiful beaches and vibrant nightlife, but it also has a reputation for being a bit unfriendly, particularly in its larger cities. Miami, for example, is often cited as a city where people are more interested in flaunting their wealth than making new friends. The state's large population of retirees can also contribute to this perception, as communities become insular and less open to newcomers. According to a 2024 study by YouGov, Florida ranked low in terms of neighborliness, with many residents reporting that they didn't know their neighbors well or engaged in community activities. The state's hot, humid climate can also lead to irritability, which might explain why people are less inclined to engage in casual chit-chat. Additionally, Florida's status as a popular tourist destination means that locals might feel overwhelmed by the constant influx of visitors, leading to a certain level of detachment or even annoyance towards outsiders. Nevada, and particularly Las Vegas, is known for its transient population and the influence of the tourism industry, both of which contribute to its reputation for unfriendliness. In Las Vegas, many people are focused on work, particularly in the hospitality industry, where interactions with tourists can become routine and impersonal. The fast-paced, high-energy environment doesn't lend itself to forming deep social connections, and the constant influx of visitors can make the city feel impersonal. A 2024 report by the Nevada Community Foundation noted that Las Vegas had one of the lowest rates of community participation in the country, with residents less likely to engage in volunteer work or local events. Outside of Vegas, Nevada's rural areas can also feel isolated, and the state's rugged individualism can make it harder for newcomers to integrate into local communities. The harsh desert climate might also contribute to a tougher, less inviting demeanor among residents. Rhode Island, the smallest state in the US, might seem like an odd addition to the list, but its size is actually part of the problem. With such a small population and tightly knit communities, outsiders can find it difficult to break in. Rhode Islanders are known for their strong sense of local identity, and there's often a preference for maintaining established social circles rather than welcoming newcomers. The state's reserved attitude is also reflected in its approach to community life. While Rhode Island has many charming small towns, these can sometimes be insular, with a reluctance to change or embrace new residents. A 2024 survey by the Pew Research Center found that Rhode Island ranked low in terms of social engagement and community activities, indicating that residents might not be as open or friendly as in other parts of the country. Additionally, the state's cold winters can contribute to a more withdrawn, inward-focused lifestyle, where people are less likely to socialize outside of their established groups. Delaware is another small state with a reputation for being unfriendly, particularly towards outsiders. Like Rhode Island, Delaware's close-knit communities can make it hard for newcomers to feel welcome. The state's size and relatively low population mean that social circles are often well established, and breaking into these can be challenging. Delaware also has a high percentage of longtime residents, which can contribute to a reluctance to embrace change or new people. A 2024 Gallup poll found that Delaware ranked low in terms of social trust and community involvement, with many residents reporting they didn't know their neighbors well. The state's status as a business hub, thanks to its favorable tax laws, means that many people who live there are focused on work and less on building strong community ties. This focus on business and the transient nature of many corporate workers in the state can lead to a more transactional and less friendly atmosphere. Rounding out our list is Maryland, a state that combines the fast-paced lifestyle of its neighboring cities, Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, with a reputation for being somewhat aloof. Maryland's unfriendliness is often attributed to the high levels of stress and competition in areas like Montgomery County, which is home to many of the nation's top professionals. The intense work culture, particularly in fields like government, finance, and technology, can leave little time for socializing, leading to a sense of detachment among residents. According to a 2024 survey by the U.S. Census Bureau, Maryland ranked low in terms of neighborly interactions, with many people reporting that they didn't feel a strong sense of community. The state's diverse population also means that there are many different cultural and social groups, which can sometimes lead to a sense of division rather than unity. Additionally, Maryland's notorious traffic, particularly around the D.C. metro area, can contribute to stress and irritability, making people less inclined to be friendly. If the stress of living in a high-pressure environment like Maryland makes you dream of a more relaxed and friendly place to retire, you might want to consider looking abroad. Check out our video on the 10 countries everyone is retiring to on a small pension, Social Security less than $500 a month, where we explore destinations that offer a more laid-back lifestyle without breaking the bank. Here's a little secret for our loyal viewers. Even in the most unfriendly states, there are always pockets of warmth and community if you know where to look. Consider joining local groups or clubs that align with your interests. Whether it's a hiking club, a book group, or a volunteer organization, finding a community within a community can help you break the ice and make connections, even in places known for being less welcoming. So before you write off a state entirely, do some research and find those hidden gems where friendliness might just be waiting for you. And there you have it, the top 10 most unfriendly states in the US in 2024. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content. Let us know in the comments if you've experienced unfriendliness in any of these states, or if you think another state should have made the list. Until next time, travel safe and keep an open mind.